Welcome back to the channel USA Coins 69, where we uncover the hidden stories, fascinating history, and surprising values behind coins that might be sitting in your pocket, in a jar at home, or tucked away in an old collection. Today, we're going to talk about a modern dime that at first glance may look like just another everyday coin. But as you'll soon discover, certain examples of this dime can be worth far more than 10 cents. Our focus today is on the United States of America Roosevelt One Dime from 1989. When most people think of valuable coins, their minds immediately go to ancient treasures, gold pieces, or silver dollars from the 1800s. But the Roosevelt Dime series proves that even relatively modern coins can hold incredible value. This dime has been part of America's coinage since 1946, and it carries with it not just monetary worth but also a deep connection to history. The Roosevelt dime was introduced just 1 year after the passing of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the only U.S. president to be elected to 4 terms. His leadership through the Great Depression and World War II left a lasting impact on the country. But beyond politics, Roosevelt was personally connected to the March of Dimes, a campaign to fight polio, the disease he himself battled. That connection made the dime the perfect denomination to honor his legacy. The design, created by John R. Sinek, features Roosevelt's profile on the obverse side, a strong and determined portrait that has become instantly recognizable over the decades. On the reverse side, we see a torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength and independence. This combination is powerful. It's a small coin with big symbolism, carrying America's ideals in your pocket. By the time we get to 1989, the Roosevelt dime had already been in circulation for more than 40 years. Unlike its earliest years, when the dimes were struck in 90% silver, the 1989 issues were made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, which is what we still use today. These dimes were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint, with billions of them produced for circulation and proof sets. Now, you might be wondering, if billions of these coins were made, what could possibly make a 1989 Roosevelt dime so special? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and unique minting varieties. First, condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. While most 1989 dimes ended up in circulation, passed from hand to hand, some examples were carefully preserved or forgotten in storage, never showing a scratch or mark. When these coins are graded at the very highest levels, they can bring in surprisingly large amounts at auction. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for a coin that looks as if it just came off the minting press yesterday, even though it's over 3 decades old. Next, we have the fascinating world of errors and varieties. Coins are mass-produced, but mistakes sometimes happen. A missing mint mark, a double die error, an off-center strike, or a misaligned die can transform an ordinary coin into a one-of-a-kind rarity. For the 1989 Roosevelt dime, there are known varieties that attract serious attention from collectors, particularly certain proof coins with missing mint marks. These anomalies make them extremely rare, and rarity always drives up value. Let's not forget proof coins struck in San Francisco. These coins were made with special dies and polished blanks, resulting in sharp details and mirror-like surfaces. They were never meant for circulation, only for collectors. If you happen to find a 1989 proof dime with exceptional eye appeal and no flaws, you may have something much more valuable than its face value suggests. The Roosevelt dime from 1989 may not carry silver like the earliest years, but it carries the weight of collectability through condition, rarity, and those unique minting errors that can make the difference between pocket change and treasure. For most people, this coin is overlooked, but for collectors, it is an opportunity, proof that even modern dimes can hold astonishing worth. And now, here comes the moment you've been waiting for, the value reveal. While most 1989 Roosevelt dimes are worth only their face value or slightly more in circulated condition, the rarest and most pristine examples, especially those with error varieties or perfect mint state grading, have shocked the coin collecting world. Believe it or not, a 1989 Roosevelt One Dime has been valued at an incredible $27,000, yes, $27,000 for a coin that, at first glance, looks just like the dime you might find in your change today. This is the magic of coin collecting. It's about history, it's about rarity, and it's about paying attention to the smallest details that most people overlook. So, the next time you get change back at the store, take a moment to look closely at your coins. That little dime could turn out to be worth far more than you ever imagined. Today, we're going to uncover the story of a small but mighty coin from the mid-1970s. At first glance, it looks just like any ordinary dime, but certain examples have stunned collectors with their rarity and value. I'm talking about the United States Roosevelt One Dime from 1974. The Roosevelt dime is one of the most enduring coin designs in American history. It first appeared in 1946, just 1 year after the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Roosevelt wasn't just remembered for guiding the country through the Great Depression and World War II, he also had a personal connection to the fight against polio and the March of Dimes campaign. The dime, therefore, became the perfect coin to honor his life and his legacy. Designed by chief engraver John R. Sinnock, the coin features Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse. His sharp gaze and strong profile symbolize leadership and resilience. On the reverse side, you'll find the now familiar trio of images: a torch representing liberty, an olive branch representing peace, and an oak branch representing strength and independence. Though small, this dime carries some of the most powerful symbols of American values. By the time 1974 arrived, the Roosevelt dime had been in circulation for nearly 3 decades. Earlier issues from 1946 through 1964 were struck in 90% silver, but after that, silver was removed from circulating dimes due to rising costs. Starting in 1965, the dime was struck in a copper-nickel clad composition, the same as what we use today. That means the 1974 Roosevelt dime does not contain silver, but don't let that fool you. Its value lies in condition, rarity, and unique minting errors. In 1974, Roosevelt dimes were struck at 3 major mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia coins carried no mint mark, Denver coins had the D mint mark, and San Francisco coins produced proof issues marked with an S. While billions of these coins were made for circulation, the challenge comes in finding examples that have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Collectors place enormous value on high-grade coins. Over time, most dimes were used in everyday commerce, gathering scratches, wear, and nicks. Only a small fraction managed to survive without ever entering circulation, often tucked away in rolls or mint sets. When these coins are graded by professional grading services and receive the highest ratings, they can be worth thousands of dollars. And then there's the exciting world of minting errors. With billions of coins being struck each year, mistakes are inevitable. For the 1974 Roosevelt dime, some of the most sought-after errors include off-center strikes, double die varieties, and planchet errors. Even a missing or weak mint mark on proof issues can transform an ordinary dime into a collector's dream. These error coins are one of a kind, and their rarity makes them highly valuable. San Francisco proof coins from 1974 are another area of interest. These coins were not meant for circulation but were produced with special care for collectors. Proof coins often feature deep mirror-like fields and frosted devices, making them visually stunning. A 1974 proof dime in flawless condition, particularly one with cameo or deep cameo contrast, can bring high premiums at auction. The 1970s were a fascinating time in American coinage. Inflation, changes in metal content, and the sheer volume of coins produced all add to the story of why certain coins from this era are prized today. Even though 1974 doesn't sound old compared to centuries past, coins from this period are crossing the threshold from being just modern money into collectible history. Now let's talk about what makes the 1974 Roosevelt dime truly special in today's collector market. It's not just about the date, it's about the quality of the coin, whether it has any rare varieties, and how well it has been preserved over time. For collectors, these details are everything, and now, it's time for the moment you've been waiting for. While the average 1974 dime is worth only 10 cents in circulation, certain examples in top-grade condition or with rare mint errors have shocked the numismatic world. In fact, some 1974 Roosevelt One Dimes have been valued at an incredible $36,000, yes, you heard that right, $36,000 for a coin that most people would simply pass along as pocket change. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about age or metal content. It's about the unique story of each coin, the condition it has survived in, and the rare varieties that make it stand out from the rest. So, if you come across a 1974 Roosevelt dime, take a closer look. Check the mint mark, study its condition, and if it looks flawless or unusual, you might just be holding onto something far more valuable than you realize. Today we're going to explore a coin from the final year of the 20th century, a coin that most people would overlook as nothing more than pocket change, but which can, under the right conditions, be worth a fortune. I'm talking about the United States Roosevelt One Dime from 1999. At first glance, the 1999 dime doesn't seem all that special. It's a modern coin, it's clad in copper nickel, and billions were minted for circulation. But coin collecting has taught us time and again that rarity and value don't always come from age or precious metals. Sometimes, it's the story behind the coin, the condition it's found in, or the rare minting varieties that make it incredibly desirable to collectors. And the 1999 Roosevelt dime is a perfect example of this. Let's rewind for just a moment and talk about the history of the Roosevelt dime. First issued in 1946, the series was designed by John R. Sinek to honor Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the nation's 32nd president. Roosevelt wasn't only a towering figure in American politics, guiding the country through both the Great Depression and World War II, he was also deeply connected to the March of Dimes campaign to fight polio. Having the dime bear his image was more than symbolic, it was personal. His portrait on the obverse reflects strength and resilience, while the reverse design carries the torch of liberty, the olive branch of peace, and the oak branch of strength. Together, they created one of the most enduring designs in American coinage. By 1999, the Roosevelt dime had already been in circulation for over 50 years. While the earliest years of the series featured silver dimes, by 1965 the composition had changed to copper-nickel clad, a switch made due to rising silver costs. This is the same composition used for the 1999 issue, which was struck at the Philadelphia Mint with a P, at the Denver Mint with a D, and at the San Francisco Mint with an S for proof coins. Now, here's where the story of the 1999 dime gets interesting. In circulation, these coins were produced in huge numbers, more than 1 billion from both Philadelphia and Denver combined. But the challenge for collectors is finding one in pristine, untouched condition. Coins that entered circulation quickly picked up scratches, dings, and signs of wear. Only a small fraction survived in flawless condition, and those are the coins that command the highest prices when graded by professional services. San Francisco proof coins from 1999 are another key part of the story. These coins were struck with extra care, using polished dies and specially prepared blanks. They weren't meant for circulation but were instead packaged in proof sets for collectors. These proof coins often display mirror-like fields and frosted devices, and when they are graded as deep cameo or ultra cameo, their beauty and rarity make them highly collectible. But beyond condition and proofs, 1999 Roosevelt dimes also have a layer of excitement tied to minting errors and varieties. During mass production, mistakes happen, and those mistakes become gold for collectors. A missing mint mark, an off-center strike, a double die, or a misaligned die can transform an ordinary dime into something truly rare. And when it comes to proof coins, there have been cases of no-S varieties in other years, where the San Francisco Mint mark was accidentally left off. While rare, such varieties can exist in modern dates and send shockwaves through the collecting world. Think about this for a second. Billions of coins were produced in 1999, but just one unusual error, or one flawless condition coin graded at the top of the scale, can make all the difference between a dime worth 10 cents and a dime worth thousands of dollars. And let's not forget the symbolic value of 1999 itself. This was the last year before the new millennium, and coins from that year carry with them a certain nostalgic weight. For collectors, owning a pristine coin from the end of the 20th century has an appeal that goes beyond the metal itself. It's a piece of history, a snapshot of the year before everything turned to the year 2000. So what does all of this mean for the 1999 Roosevelt dime in today's market? It means that collectors who find the rarest examples, those with perfect grading, those with minting errors, or those proof coins that display exceptional quality, are willing to pay incredible sums, and now, the moment you've been waiting for. While most 1999 Roosevelt dimes are worth only face value, a small number of extraordinary examples have achieved shocking results at auction. In fact, some 1999 Roosevelt One Dimes have been valued at an astounding $26,000, yes, $26,000 for a coin that most people would pass over without a second thought. This is what makes coin collecting so exciting. It reminds us that value isn't always obvious, that sometimes the most unassuming coin can hold secrets worth thousands. So the next time you see a 1999 dime, don't dismiss it. Check the mint mark, check the condition, and look closely for unusual features. You might just be holding something far more valuable than you ever imagined. Today we are diving into a dime that comes from the 1990s, a time that doesn't seem too far in the past, but in the world of numismatics, even coins from this period can surprise us with their rarity and value. The coin we're going to explore in detail today is the United States Roosevelt One Dime from 1994. The Roosevelt dime is a coin with a legacy tied directly to one of America's most important presidents, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. First issued in 1946, just 1 year after his passing, it was chosen not only to honor his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II but also to connect to his work with the March of Dimes in the fight against polio. The dime became more than just money. It became a symbol of resilience, courage, and progress. Designed by John R. Sinek, the obverse features Roosevelt's portrait, his determined expression and forward gaze reflecting his role as a guiding force for the nation. On the reverse, 3 timeless symbols complete the design: a torch representing liberty, an olive branch representing peace, and an oak branch representing strength and independence. These images remind us that even the smallest coin carries big meaning. By 1994, the Roosevelt dime had already been in circulation for nearly 50 years. While the earliest dimes in the series were made of 90% silver, that changed in 1965 when silver was removed from everyday coinage. The 1994 dime, like others of the modern era, was struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition. But don't let that fool you into thinking it's worthless. Rarity and condition often matter far more than metal content in determining a coin's true value. In 1994, the dime was struck at 3 different U.S. mints. Philadelphia produced coins without a mint mark, Denver produced coins marked with a D, and San Francisco produced proof issues with an S mint mark. The Philadelphia and Denver mints released billions of dimes into circulation, but the San Francisco mint created proof coins specifically for collectors. These proof coins were struck with polished dies and special care, giving them mirror-like fields and frosted designs. So what makes a 1994 Roosevelt dime so collectible? The answer lies in 3 important factors: condition, rarity, and errors. Let's start with condition. Most of the dimes struck in 1994 entered circulation and picked up scratches, nicks, and wear over time. Finding one that remains in pristine condition, as if it just left the mint, is much harder than you might think. Coins that have been preserved in flawless, uncirculated condition are the ones that bring the highest prices at auction. Next, there are proof coins. These 1994 S proof dimes can be especially valuable if they are graded as deep cameo or ultra cameo. Their sharp detail and incredible eye appeal make them stand out in any collection. Proof coins were never meant to circulate, but their beauty and quality make them prized possessions. And then we come to one of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting: errors and varieties. During the minting process, mistakes sometimes occur, and those mistakes create coins that are one of a kind. For the 1994 dime, certain examples are known with striking anomalies, such as off-center strikes, double die varieties, or planchet flaws. In some cases, missing mint marks or unusual proof errors have been discovered, instantly transforming an ordinary dime into an extraordinary rarity. Collectors love error coins because no two are ever exactly alike, and their uniqueness adds tremendous value. The year 1994 itself adds a bit of intrigue. The early 1990s was a period when coin collecting was gaining renewed popularity, and proof sets and mint sets from this period are still actively traded. However, as time goes on, coins from this decade are transitioning from modern to collectible, making pristine examples more desirable each year. So here's the part everyone has been waiting for: the value. While most 1994 Roosevelt dimes in circulated condition are worth only face value, certain rare examples in the highest grades, or with unique errors, have shocked collectors with their market prices. Believe it or not, some 1994 Roosevelt One Dimes have been valued as high as an incredible $28,000, yes, $28,000 for a dime that most people wouldn't think twice about spending on gum or coffee. This is the magic of numismatics. It shows us that value isn't just in age or metal content but in condition, rarity, and the special stories that surround a coin. Every dime, quarter, penny, or half dollar has the potential to hide secrets, and sometimes those secrets are worth thousands of dollars. So if you come across a 1994 Roosevelt dime, don't ignore it. Check its mint mark, study its condition, and look closely for unusual features. What might look like a 10-cent coin could actually be a life-changing treasure. Today we're going to talk about a dime that most people would easily overlook, but in reality, it has the potential to be worth a small fortune. The coin in the spotlight today is the Roosevelt One Dime from 1981, a piece of American coinage that carries history, artistry, and incredible value if you happen to have the right one. Now, before we get into the details of the 1981 dime itself, let's remind ourselves why the Roosevelt dime exists in the first place. This series was first introduced in 1946 to honor Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt guided the nation through the Great Depression and most of World War II. His leadership and his fight against polio made him a symbol of determination, and his work with the March of Dimes sealed his connection to this denomination. In fact, what better way to honor his legacy than by placing his portrait on the coin most associated with the fight against polio? Designed by Chief Engraver John R. Sinek, the dime's obverse displays Roosevelt's left-facing portrait. You can see the careful detail in the hair, the strong expression on his face, and the simple inscription that includes the word liberty and the motto "In God We Trust." On the reverse, three enduring symbols: an olive branch for peace, an oak branch for strength, and a torch for liberty, remind us of America's values in a design that has remained virtually unchanged for decades. By the time we reach 1981, the dime had already been around for 35 years. Gone were the days of 90% silver coins, those ended in 1964. Since 1965, dimes were produced in copper-nickel clad composition, and the 1981 dime is no exception. At first glance, it looks like any other modern dime. Billions were struck, and most were spent, jingled in pockets, worn down in change jars, and forgotten. But here's the thing: coin collecting is never about the ordinary. It's about the extraordinary. And hidden within the 1981 dime mintage are coins that are anything but ordinary. Let's talk about the mint locations. In 1981, Roosevelt dimes were struck at 3 different U.S. mints. Philadelphia produced coins without a mint mark, Denver produced coins with the D mint mark, and San Francisco produced proof coins marked with an S. The Philadelphia and Denver dimes were made for circulation, while the San Francisco Mint specialized in collector-quality proofs. The proof coins are especially fascinating for this year. Proof dimes are struck with polished dies and specially prepared planchets, creating sharp details and mirror-like finishes. In 1981, the San Francisco Mint struck millions of proofs, but not all proofs are created equal. There are 2 types of mint marks for this year, the so-called Type 1 and Type 2S mint marks. The Type 1S is blobby and less distinct, while the Type 2S is sharp, clear, and more desirable. Collectors often go out of their way to find the Type 2 because it represents a transition and adds an element of rarity. Condition is another huge factor for 1981 dimes. Circulated coins, the ones that have seen years of wear, will almost always be worth only their face value. But those that have been preserved in pristine condition, graded as mint state or even higher by professional grading services, can fetch impressive sums. High-grade examples with blazing luster, sharp details, and no marks or scratches are the ones collectors fight for, and of course, we cannot forget error coins. Minting mistakes are some of the most exciting finds in the numismatic world. Off-center strikes, double dies, missing mint marks, and clipped planchets are just a few of the possibilities. For the 1981 Roosevelt dime, certain proof error coins and misstruck circulation pieces have been discovered, and these are extremely desirable because no two error coins are ever exactly alike. Now think about this. Most people would pass right over a 1981 dime in their pocket change without even a second glance. After all, it's just a clad dime, right? But for collectors, it's all about the details, the date, the mint mark, the condition, and the rarity of the strike. Those who take the time to study their coins carefully can sometimes uncover a treasure hiding in plain sight. So what about the big question, how much can a 1981 Roosevelt dime actually be worth? While the vast majority of them remain common and worth only 10 cents, the rarest and finest examples have commanded staggering sums at auction. Believe it or not, a 1981 Roosevelt One Dime in exceptional condition and with the right attributes has been valued as high as $34,000, yes, $34,000 for a coin that most people would drop into a vending machine without a second thought, and that, my friends, is what makes coin collecting so thrilling. It's not just about metal and mintage numbers. It's about history, artistry, and the chance that something small and ordinary might actually be extraordinary. So the next time you come across a Roosevelt dime from 1981, don't dismiss it. Take a closer look. Check the mint mark. Study its condition. Who knows? You might just have a life-changing discovery hiding in your pocket change. Thank you for watching and exploring this incredible journey into the world of American coins. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you'll never miss another deep dive into the treasures of US coinage. And remember, the smallest coin can sometimes carry the biggest surprises.